Hello, everyone. It's Betty Ray again, bringing you the Archangel Raphael. It's always a pleasure to be with you. And I know we're just beginning at this, so be patient with us. I brought the beautiful picture behind me that shows an artist with her rendition of an angel in a cloud. And it was given to me by a friend for my birthday a long time ago. And it's a treasure. And it fits with what we're going to talk about today because this picture that someone created, these flowers behind me that someone created, gives me joy. And so today's topic is 30 days of happiness. 30 days to happiness. Now, wouldn't it be wonderful if you could actually have 30 days and you would be happy? But you know what? Raphael says we have a choice every single moment of whether we're going to be happy or not. That's our free will. We get to choose. But here is a step by step to help you to know when you're down in the dumps how you can get back up again. 30 Days to Happiness has 30 wise things to do while you are at home. If you're like me, quarantined. Yes, I don't go out very much. So I'm home a lot. I'm doing a lot of writing, a lot of creative things because that's what our choice is. We can decide what we're going to do with every moment of our life. Unless, of course, we have a job where we have to go to, and then the boss decides what we're going to do. So let's look at day one. Raphael has inspired me to write this. And so day one says, I will put a guard on my mind. I'm going to put it right up there so you can see it. I will put a guard on my mind. And it says, every negative thought that will be changed to a positive thought. One, I'm going to say that again since I stumbled over it. Every negative thought will be changed to a positive one. Every doubt will be overruled and canceled. I can do what I set my mind to do. I choose to change my by changing my mind from fear and doubt into love and trust in myself, in my life, and in my world. Now, a lot of attention has been focused on what's wrong with the world, and the coronavirus is right at the top of the list, isn't it? Of course it is. And people my age are supposed to be extremely vulnerable. Well, everybody's vulnerable. And that's what the 30-year-olds are finding now. In fact, there's a story about this woman who was dying, and she told her nurse that she had gone to a coronavirus party because they didn't believe that it was contagious. And here she was dying. And she said to the nurse, I guess I was wrong. Well, that's one way to end up going to the other side, but it's not what I would recommend. And certainly, if you were to choose to deliberately get the virus so you could die, that's not a good choice. And that's what we're here today to show you the different choices that you can make to be happy. Now, people have always said to me, are you always this bright and happy? And of course not. I'm not always bright and happy. I have my down days. I've hurt my back recently, and I've had a lot of pain I've had to deal with. So it's taught me to appreciate those people who are in pain all the time. And not only does my heart go out to them, but my prayers go out to them. And so even if you are suffering pain, like a friend of mine who has just had hip, not a replacement, but she's had a pin put in, and it's very painful. And so she has to learn how to walk all over again to overcome that pain. And there's a lot of you out there who are suffering pain. And it's no joy. No, it makes you want to cry. It makes you want to wish you could escape some way. And so that's why people get addicted to narcotics that stop pain, is because the pain overwhelms them. So life on this earth is not that easy. And when you do have good health, you need to say, thank you, God, for that good health. And when you don't have good health, you don't need to curse God or anybody else for your ill health. It's not your fault. It's nobody's fault. It's part of being a sentient being on planet Earth. There is not one single person who can escape being in pain, being too cold, being too hot, being too something or else, because we are on a planet of dualities, a planet of plus, minus, up, down, inside, out, all of those different things we are going to experience. No one is going to escape it. So let's take a look at these 30 days to happiness and see just how we can maybe have more control over it. So the first one is I will put a guard on my mind. That's a big one. Every negative thought will be changed to a positive one. How do you do that? If you think, oh my gosh, I hate wearing masks. I don't really want to wear a mask, but I'm going to wear a mask because I know it's proven scientifically it'll keep me from getting sick. So even though I feel like I'm stuffed into something and I can hardly breathe, I wear a mask when I go out. And oftentimes I wear a plastic gloves because I know you can pick it up so easily on your hands. This is a virus that is really wicked. And if you don't acknowledge it, well, you may have to suffer for it, or a loved one may have to suffer for it. Do you really want that? Do you really want to be the typhoid Mary that gives your loved one the virus because you didn't wear a mask? Okay, enough of that. It's a choice. Put a guard on your mind. Every negative thought will be changed to a positive one. Every doubt will be overruled and canceled. Now, that's some of my biggest things. I think, who, me? You're going to ask me to put on a video show? I don't know how to do that. You've got to be crazy, angels. And yet here I am. Here I am talking to you on a video and showing my beautiful picture behind me that was a gift. There's the angel in the sky there. I'm using my pointer. I don't know if it shows up for you, but wasn't that wonderful? And these lovely flowers that are here. That was somebody's creation. You know, they had that idea to create these beautiful flowers, and they're made of silk, and so they have good energy. And that's something that you learn to do when you study feng shui, which is the Chinese equivalent of good energy. They call it qi, good qi. And I really recommend that all of you do study and get a book on the library on feng shui and how to make your home happy. If your home is happy, if the energy in your home is happy, it's a lot easier for you to be happy. And so put a guard on your mind. Let's start with that. First of all, where do thoughts come from? You know, where do we get these ideas in our heads? Where do thoughts come from? Nobody really knows. Well, Raphael gives me his thoughts, so I know when they come from Raphael, the archangel. And I've been so blessed for so many years to hear that archangel's voice in my head. Now, people could think I'm crazy. I'm hearing voices in my head. But how do you tell the difference? By what comes through. If it's wonderful, beautiful stuff and stuff you didn't know before, then you need to pay attention because everybody has a guardian angel. You do. You have a guardian angel. And that guardian angel can be your guard on your mind. And so when you listen to your thoughts, and thoughts are abstract, they're shooting in your brain and shooting out the other side. They're coming in and going out all day long because you know you pick up on other people's thoughts. A lot of you are psychic and don't know it, and you're picking up on other people's thoughts. And once in a while, you kind of wake up and you go, where did that idea come from? And it isn't a good idea. It's a negative one. So that's when you cancel it. You say, cancel, cancel. Or as some of my friends say, delete, delete, because they're more into computers. So that's how you have control over your mind. And that's where you're going to ask your guardian angel to be kind of the gatekeeper. You have stands at the gate of your mind. And when you get a negative thought, it's like, oh, I hate, and then you'll stop right there. You don't want to hate anyone or anything. Even though there's lots of things on the planet that you don't like and you don't go along with, don't use the word hate. It's too strong and it's too powerful for the negative energy. So instead, say, I choose not to listen to those thoughts. I choose to listen to my own guardian angel that has only uplifting, only wonderful thoughts and ideas for me to create beauty in my home. When I'm stuck in it, I might as well make it as beautiful as possible. I've got all this time. Why not? It's a great time to do, well, spring cleaning, even though it's summer. It's a great time to, since you're home and you don't have anything to do, to really give your house a good cleaning because that stirs the energy in your house and it helps it to just glow. And angels can enter in because the energy is constantly moving in your home. When you walk through it, energy swirls around you. Constantly, it's moving. And so if you have pretty things in your homes, like flowers, real ones are really better than artificial ones, but like this beautiful picture, if you have those, then bring them out and meditate with them. Imagine that you do have an angel beside you, whatever, if it has wings or whatever, because really angels don't have wings. I mean, Raphael says they're pure spirit. They don't need to have wings wherever they think they can be in an instant. And so they don't really have wings. But if that's how you picture them, they'll put on wings for you. That's how accommodating they are and how joyous they are. You cannot have angels around you and not be happy. So make an angel the guard on your mind. And when you find yourself beginning to droop and you're beginning to fade and you're beginning to have negative thoughts, call on your angel. Call on your angel and say, Angel, sweep those negative thoughts away. Fill me up with God's beauty and goodness. Help me to see good this day. Help me be a person who brings light and joy and a smile, even if my face is covered with a mask. My eyes can smile at people. They can see I'm smiling at them, and they will be lifted up. Energy is exchanged in an instant like that. You are an energy being, and wherever you go, you are projecting energy out. If you wear a frown, if you're angry, you've got the dark energy around you. You've just called in the dark energy, and it loves to find people who are ready to be grumpy, who are ready to condemn, who are ready to use anger and fierce words and try to control people with anger. Whoo, the dark energy just loves you. Is that what you want in your life? Do you like that feeling? I sure don't. I don't even know how to be angry. Well, that's not true. There are times when I had students, and I remember after being laid off because I broke, yes, I did. I was out of school for 3 months. And when I went back, my eighth grade language arts students were just no discipline whatsoever. And I'm a disciplinarian, but I'm an easygoing kind of teacher, so it kind of fools them. So I had certain expectations that had been put on the board right the very first day of school. These are what I expect of you in this room. And these rules are broken. This is what will happen. Well, apparently the substitute teachers while I was gone didn't follow those rules. And so those kids were talking and throwing paper and doing all kinds of silly things that junior high kids do. And I would start counting to 5. I would just put my fingers up like this. And the kids would go, shh, shh, she's counting to 5. And all of a sudden, the room would get quiet because the rule was if I started counting to 5, they had to be silent. And if they were still talking after I got to 5, they had a 500-word essay they had to write and turn in. Well, they kind of poo-pooed that. Oh, she's not going to do that. Well, I did. And if they bucked me, I called their parents and I explained to them what the rules of the classroom were and how they were there from September. And pretty soon, well, not pretty soon, it took about 2 weeks to get those students back to behaving the way I expected them to behave and showing respect for one another. No put downs were allowed in my classroom. Nobody could say anything nasty about one another, and certainly not about me. They could think it, but they weren't allowed to let it out their mouths. And I was generally fun to be with. But if they crossed the line, I was not fun at all. And that's the way I live my life. My life is full of joy and happiness. And at my age, to find myself here doing a video, well, believe me, you the thing I have to put a guard on my mind about is self-doubt. I mean, I don't know anything about videos, and I've maybe been screwing up, and I know I don't have very many people yet, but I hope you will spread the word if you enjoy the joy that Raphael brings to this channel. If you will enjoy the words of wisdom that Raphael brings to this channel, then spread the word. Let people know that there's joy on this channel from an old lady who speaks to an archangel and brings that wisdom to us. So for the next 29 days, this is the first of the 30 days to happiness. For the next 29 days, I am going to do a video. And so day one, let me repeat it again, because this is what you're going to concentrate on. Day one, I will put a guard on my mind. Ask your guardian angel to make you aware of your negative thoughts. And then when you're aware of it, to change it. So here I am sitting in front of this little computer. I had to put the flowers behind me and the picture behind me as sort of a backdrop. I see other people on channels and they have these gorgeous backdrops. And I think, oh, okay, I don't know how to do that. But I think, oh, I do have beautiful things. So I brought in my flowers and I brought in this beautiful painting, an original painting that was done just for me. And I thought, I'll share that joy with you. So I put a guard on my mind. I wouldn't let my mind say, I can't do this. I don't know how to do this. I'm too old to do this. Believe me, I had those thoughts, but the guard on my mind, Raphael, said, you can do this. You will do this. And here I am doing it. The same with you. When you get a good idea, grasp it like you're fishing, and you got your bait in the water for a good idea. And all of a sudden, you get an idea. Reel it in. Quick, 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 quick. Reel it in. And when you finally got it, you go, okay, this is what I have to do. And if I'm going to paint a picture, I've got to have paints. You've got to know what you need to have to create the idea that's given to you. And if you have an idea and you can't do anything about it right now, have a notebook of ideas, a little notebook, kind of like this one. Have a little notebook. The title of it is Good Ideas, and write it down. So when you do have time, then you can say, oh, I'm going through my list of ideas. And where do ideas come from? Think about it. Where do ideas come from? Do you know ideas come from God through your angels? Ideas come from God through people around you. And because you're on a planet of polarities where there's dark and there's light, there's up and there's down, there's opposites, everything opposites. So if we are a light being and we get a negative idea, that's the dark trying to bring us into balance. But we don't have to go to the dark energy to be able to be in balance. We have to recognize when we have a negative thought, and then we have to figure out a positive thought to just erase it. Do you remember those old binoculars like that they used to have that you put a slide in? You put a slide in and it pushed the other slide out. Okay, I like to think of that's the way that you kind of get rid of a negative idea. You got this negative idea in your sights and you go, oh, that doesn't feel very good. And then you think, okay, what can I do to change it? And then you get a bright idea and you kind of push that in and it pushes the dark idea out. And so that's where you put a guard on your mind. How do you know you got a negative idea if you aren't listening to those ideas? How do you know when you feel like you're losing energy, why you're losing energy? How do you know? By listening to your mind, by listening to your thoughts, by realizing that you can pick up thoughts on other people. You can be, if you have to go to the grocery store, wear a mask. But if you have to go to the grocery store, you could be picking up on people's thoughts and they could be pretty negative. And you could go in feeling really, really good, and you can go out feeling like, oh my God, what happened to my energy? And then you realize you picked up on all those negative thoughts. And so what do? You got to just program it to be out of your mind. You got to say, I choose to think only positive thoughts. I choose to be happy today. I choose to listen to only the bright, energetic thoughts that make me feel good. And those thoughts that are worrisome, and worry is negative energy. And if you worry about someone else, you just sent them a bouquet of wilted flowers because they're negative energy and there's no life in them. So don't worry about people. Send them positive energy. Even send them flowers, but you can send them flowers in your imagination. Send them flowers in your imagination and imagine that they feel that loving energy that you've just sent them. They feel it and they are lifted up. And for some reason, they have a little bit of a dance in their step. What is the reason? They're not aware that you sent them that positive energy, but that's the reason. And conversely, if you send them negative energy, they could be up and really good, and that negative energy comes and they just sort of wilt. Do you really want to do that? I don't think so. Your thoughts are powerful, dear ones. Your thoughts are powerful. They are your future. Whatever you think, so shall it be. That's how powerful you are. God said, you are co-creators with Him. You are given the power to create anything you can think of and visualize. That's a key thing, to be able to see it before you create it. That's what this artist did. This artist behind me had a picture. It was this woman was given money to do a painting for someone she didn't even know about angels. And this was the inspiration God sent her, a sunset with a beautiful angel cloud. The beauty of it is just magnificent. You have all kinds of wonderful ideas. When you put a statue or something that is beautiful to you and you put it somewhere, and then you kind of go by and you go, I got to turn that just a little bit. That's your inspiration to move the energy in your home. That's why it's good to dust. That's why it's good to sometimes wipe off surfaces and to wipe off different figurines you might have in your house, because it accumulates dust, and the dust is kind of dirty, negative energy. And so that's why it's good to keep your house clean, because it helps to clean out all those negative thoughts that could be bombarding you. I live on a pretty busy street and cars are zooming by. And I think, whoa, this is supposed to be a residential street, but they're zooming by. It's kind of a shortcut. And I can't go out there and yell, slow down. I can't be angry with them. I'd be sending them negative energy. Instead, I send them angels that will protect them so they don't harm themselves or others. It's your thoughts that you have control over. They are sometimes other people's thoughts that are jumping in, and fearful thoughts can jump in, and they are negative energy. There's a battle going between the dark and the light. And the light is bringing a raising of consciousness. This is the time of times Raphael has talked about. A raising of consciousness where more people will choose light over darkness. Are you one of them? Are you going to stay with us for 30 days and consciousness day by day to be happier and happier? So begin today, day one, and choose to put a guard on your mind. Listen to your thoughts. And with that, dear ones, we'll say to you, happy thoughts, and come back again tomorrow, because we'll be back to give you day two. God bless all of you.